Good evening and welcome to Speaker Club Inner Circles. Friday night number 12. This is the last session of this quarter of this theme for this month, which is the Set for Success theme. We have had 3 different sessions on this theme relating to different parameters which help us in moving towards success. The programs that we have had this month are: one is Career Connect, the second one is What's Your DNA, and the third one is the What Next mindset. Today's session is an extension of these programs that we have had, especially with an idea of not pushing my definition or some world's definition of what is success, but the idea to understand what is success and how do we achieve and how do we define what is success for us. So please note, the session is not about the path to success, but understanding what is your definition of success in itself through the stories and examples and ideas that you have to share. How many of you have come across people whom you know personally, who are very successful from the world's perspective, but somewhere are missing or find themselves lost in their own life, despite being called successful by the world? Do you know someone like that, whom the world calls successful? You all can share. You all can just if you have come across someone whom you know personally, the world, and success need not be about having the fame or having all the money and all those aspects. I'm just talking of, you felt that this person is successful, but when you know the inside story of the person, you get to see that he's not that feeling that successful, or he's still unhappy despite all the things that he's getting. One, Khalid? Yes, Dinesh, go ahead.
Sir, I do, as you all know, I do stay in Bangalore, Metro City. Presently, this is a leased house. My building owner is there. I have very good respect about that person. He has come across a lot of challenges during COVID. He lost his both parents. He will share openly each and everything. I had a very good image about him, and he during his tenure he constructed this 3-floor building. Everything. I was feeling like having one building in the Bangalore. That is a success in terms of that is the effort. Like you put effort, but one thing is made me to realize last week, having all these things, even small things also make us to change the image. He lied me in one instance. He asked me to pay X amount of money for the cleaning work building. I come to know actually whatever he told, that is false statement. He charging me more. Having this much of financial stable, the good image he talk, whatever he talks, practically is not doing it. With that, whatever the action come the words, it has to match. Otherwise, there is no meaning. We cannot call it. We cannot make it as a moral person. We cannot keep it in a good note. That person. In that way, if you call it as a successful person, the words and the action both should match.
Interesting. Thank you, Dinesha. I think that was an interesting perspective with regard to when you look at a person, it's not what he says or how he projects himself, but also what he stands for. That is what makes him successful. Nice perspective. Thank you. Khalid, you'd like to share something? Have you come across anyone or anyone? Okay, the other side of the story is you have come across people who by definition of the world aren't that successful. Like they don't have the money, they don't have the fame, or they don't have that much of success stories to share. And yet when you meet them, when you talk to them, you find a different level of calmness in them, something which makes us feel that they are successful in their own way. Have you come across anyone like that?
Not in these circumstances. After COVID, it is very difficult to find a person who is successful or who is having inner peace. Everybody is disturbed.
Interesting. Anyone whom you have come the other side around, whom you feel you have seen that they're successful and you get to know the inside story that they are not happy or they are finding their own challenges?
There are people who are having much more money than they deserve. But it's our perspective of seeing them. Maybe they have a different story, what we don't know.
Got it. Interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Uma ma'am, Sri Krishna, Ellen. Anyone? Ellen, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I will feel first initially, I will take my score only. I will feel successful person like that. Reason actually, I whatever the target is there, parents, I need to this age, I need to be get this much salary, or else this like that. I think lot of things. I achieved that one, but later only I came to know that is not success. Actually, that success means what we are doing in balance. Actually, say the balanced life. Actually, how we are doing that everything actually, for example, family, social, again our office. So those things, how if we are doing things, then only I realize that is success. Not if one things, oh, if we are doing that continuously, uh, that is actually success like that. I felt initially, after that only I come to know that success is actually it's not one thing we are doing. We need to do parallelly everything.
Interesting. I like this perspective when you're sharing the fact that it's not about one side or one facet of your life, which success is defined by. It's in totality and how you get the balance in what you're pursuing and how you're balancing out things. Because there are a lot of people who have gained immense exceptional success in maybe professional world, and they're struggling in their relationships, or they've got all the money in the world and yet they do not have the health or the peace of mind which is required for them to experience and enjoy that kind of a money that they want. So yeah, what we'll do is for today's meeting, I have this agenda which is plain and simple. I want each one of you all to reflect on the stories that you have to share about what is success to you. What are you chasing in the name of success? Is it your definition or is it a creation of what the world around you has created for you? As a child, when we grow up, we have our parents, we have our friends, we have our schools, and we have our upbringing and all the environment, which creates this kind of environment where the definition of what is success is imposed on us. And that is the biggest challenge. Because I've come to see and observe a lot of people who have actually attained the real success, wherein it's what they wish to achieve, is by understanding and living by what their definition of success is. I've seen people who have given up corporate jobs which lacks of salaries and going on to teach kids in the slums, and they're happy. And they're happy in the things that they are pursuing, in the things that they're doing, and that is what they call themselves. For them, that is what success is. So that's what today's session is, because the entire idea where we have started to impose world's definition of success on us, and as a result, in the long run, we could very well become successful by the world standards, but we are missing out on our own satisfaction of what that success is that you have achieved. So the focus today is going to be a few set of questions. Again, I'm not going to give answers because there is no one set answer for anyone. The focus today is, while we discuss with each one of us sharing our story with regard to the different things that we'll be discussing, our story, people could find insights into their story. They could find where they felt trapped to a different expectation which was not required. Today's session is going to be about this, where please note, when I'm asking any question, do not say the world thinks of it like this or it should be like this. Speak what you stand for, what you think about it. What is your perspective about that idea? Okay, clear everyone? Hi Muskan, hi Uma ma'am. Okay, Uma, video off is okay, no challenge. Sri Krishna, if it's possible, switch on the video and let's begin with today's idea of success my way. And the first thing that I want to ask each one of you all is, for you, based on whatever you are today, wherever you are today, what is success? How do you measure success for yourself? How do you measure success for yourself? Khalid, you want to go first?
Yeah, I will go.
Okay, Khalid, you want to say something?
Let him speak.
Okay, then after Ellen, you can go ahead. Ellen, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, success actually what I can tell, I can take 2 days leave, no calls or some disturbance, nothing is there. I can manage my family as well as office. That I can tell success. Reason actually, wherever I'm going, I'll get disturbance. Means actually, I need to be get call and everything will be there. Yesterday, day before yesterday, my friends also came down from Singapore. Even I can't spend much time with him also. Reason my actually still I'm thinking. So why I need to work? I need to get some business. Suppose I need to go somewhere, I will not get any disturbance. Actually, 1 week I need to travel somewhere. My business should be run here. Someone need to be taken care of, or else like that system I need to be created. So reason for me, money is not much matter actually. What how much is required, that is enough. Not actually, I will not run something around that one. After something I turn back, nothing is there. So I need to be aware what I'm doing. So my success is like that actually. Without me also it should be happen. I need to be at least 2 or 3 days should be peacefully. I need to be stay somewhere with the external disturbance, or else I'm thinking right somewhere I'm there. Just my thinking will be their office or somewhere else. So that is my success like that. I'm working on that. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Ellen. I think Khalid, go ahead.
Yes, success according to me is if you are doing something and you are enjoying it without taking anybody's consideration into mind that what will people say about you, what are you doing. One thing you should keep in mind, it should not, what you are doing is not anti-social or anti-national. You should keep it in mind first. And after that, because man is a social animal, we have to think about society first. If our freedom is creating any disturbance in the society, and that's not success. Whatever, if we are getting money or fame in that, but that's not success. Success is what we enjoy doing. If I'm doing a job, I'm enjoying it, I can say I'm successful to some extent. Not fully, but to some extent, without disturbing anybody's life. That's it according to me.
Thank you, Khalid. Here, a very interesting perspective. Thank you, Khalid, for sharing that. Ellen's focus was about the dimension that Ellen was looking at was success is getting control of his time, being in charge. And Khalid's perspective is about how he can enjoy whatever thing he's doing while impacting others in a positive way. Wonderful balance with regard to how you're looking at things. I've come across this interesting interview video of Warren Buffett and Bill Gates sitting together, wherein it was a complete contrast of how people look at success. When they were asked, can you show your calendar? Bill Gates showed, see, this is my calendar like this, and my entire day is packed. Every minute of my time is being invested and I'm occupied and I'm making sure the best use of my time is being done. The same other contrast was Warren Buffett's calendar, where he had nothing in it. And both of them saw success in a different way. One was making sure every minute of his day is spent in a way he wants to do. And second one was giving time to himself, where he can think of whatever he wants to do. He's still not, I'm not saying he's lazy or he's not doing anything at all. By giving or creating a space, the ultimate objective for Warren Buffett was clearing my calendar. And the objective for Bill Gates was making sure my entire calendar is occupied. He could be surely having time invested, this 1 hour is for my family or something. But look at the contrast. Look at the contrast is what made me surprised about how two very successful people from the world's perspective, with regard to the money, with regard to the impact, with regard to work they have done, and how they are currently seeing success or how their life is currently as a result of success is complete contrast. Isn't it fascinating how, if as an example, after being successful, Warren Buffett's calendar was full like that, how would he feel? He didn't chase Bill Gates' success. Bill Gates didn't chase Warren Buffett's success. Here, Ellen, I'm not saying with regard to the thing that you shared that you should not have work. But the idea for you is the work should be in its own place, and your priority is that I should be in control of my time. And so you're trying to make sure all things fall in place in a way where you put up the systems and you have your time, which is under your control. When you're with your friend from Singapore, you want to just be with them without any call or disturbance. Or you can just put a DND that do not call me, I'm not available at this time. You're not in charge of your weekends also. So the ideal target for you is this. And for Khalid, when he mentioned his beautiful story with regard to how he wants to impact people and give back to the society, he wants to commit to it. And that is where he sees success. I want both of you all to see the underlying, not what is happening today. What is happening is whatever is the actions in things which are happening around you. I want you to go the step lower within yourself. What value or what aspect do you judge your success on, and focus on that element, that principle which is driving your success. Keep that intact. Because often now you might want to be free because of 10 different reasons which the world says that you should be giving time to this, you should be giving time. While Khalid could want to be free, would want to work or do in a different fashion, or whatever things that he wants to do could be with a different drive. But if the underlying principle is not being met, keep that in focus. If that is not being met, it will diverge from you feeling successful. Dinesha, go ahead.
So 2 years back, I was waiting for a bus in Taluk bus stand. My boss around 11 o'clock. I reached at 10 o'clock. 1 hour time I had during that time. When the housekeeping lady came at 10 o'clock and started cleaning entire bus stand. I was sitting and watching mobile. I realized, okay, this is a huge bus stand. If the lady if she wants to complete the cleaning process, it may take 2 hours. Being sitting idle, why can't I go and support her? It has thought has came in my mind. Immediately I went and asked that, can you give me one more broom so that I can also support? Being like officially dressed, the lady said, what sir, what are you talking? No, don't hesitate. I am born and brought up in local, give me one. I started cleaning. There were like 100 plus passengers waiting for buses. It's a like congested bus stand. I, without any hesitation, I was not done in my native bus stand, but I did it there. I was very much happy. Still today, I feel like I have contributed something.
Wonderful.
What I'm trying to say, whatever we feel on the spot, if you implement on the same side, Karisar mentioned, it should not be hurt the society, because we are the biggest part of society. If you do that, that is success. Adding to that, whatever we are gaining from the society, whatever we gain, that we have to contribute to the society. But end of my life is somewhere in my whatever I was born, in that road, if I put Dinesh Road, end of my last minute, I feel my life will be satisfied. Society will be like remember my birth. That's what I feel it as success. I will give you one more example in life. When we are alive, when we are breathing, always we have to keep in that we have to care, love, all these things we have to express. What happened recently? I got a call. One of my relative passed away. After passed away, they called like this person XYZ passed away. You have to come. My mind was saying, "Is not no more. What I am going to do there?" But there is a pressure has created. Dinesh and family were not part of that event. There will be negative impact. My perspective is very clear. People who are alive, then we have to go and ask like, are you happy? Do you need any support? Anyway, after death, we'll go with one mala and all other equipment which is costing 150 rupees. When they are alive, if you go and contribute 150 rupees fruit, that is worth. That's what I feel. That is what success.
Interesting. Thank you, Dinesha. I think your ideas and the way you're looking at it fall probably in line with what Khalid mentioned with regard to the contribution of society making a positive impact. Wonderful. So, hi Rashmi, we are talking about how do you see success? How do you measure success for yourself? Muskan, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, Muskan.
Yeah, so I was listening to all the perspectives and views of all the people, the three people said about it. Sorry, I don't know the names. I'm attending after a long time. So for me, what success means, it's a mindset. For me, success is a mindset. It's in my mind if I am successful or I am not. It's like I think, sorry, I may not be clear with the word, but what I'm trying to say is success is in every moment, in every little moment of the life. The little aims I put on my list, and if I clear them, that's a success for me. For me, success means peace of mind. If I'm not happy with what I am doing, or with I am not feeling right in that situation, then the success coming, maybe it in materialistic thing or in the mindset. It's not me. It's not like meaningful. So for me, it's in mindset.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you, Muskan. Muskan, you have already shared a lot of, you have sowed the seeds for a lot of things that we are going to discuss in the fall as we move in the meeting. One perspective that I liked about it is we often look at success or whether we are successful and all those things in a very macro perspective. Muskan shared beautifully about the simple fact of how you can actually feel successful in what you're doing on a daily basis. If you have a checklist, if you have a to-do list on a daily basis, the small things that you're accomplishing, if you closely observe and do those things well, if you put your heart into those things well, you are going to become successful, or you're going to feel successful with the things that you're doing, rather than looking at, okay, I have this big plan after 10 years that I want to do. If you are not doing anything much about it, there's little that you will feel successful about. Thank you, Muskan. Rashmi, you're on mute. Success right now is unmuting.
Yes,
Yes,
for
Rashmi.
me, success is like if you see the from birth to death, it is not birth also, it is not in your hand. Your religion, your parents, your looks, it's not in your hand. And even I always feel, I always think my death should be like very happy and I should go like with happiness and with health, हंसते खेलते जाना चाहिए. So but it is not even, it is also not in my hand, but I'm attempt to be like a meditation and all. I'm always thinking I should go happily. चलते खेलते हंसते जाओ, ना मुझे तकलीफ ना किसी को तकलीफ. तो ये सब हम बोलते हैं what you think is happiness is again how you think about yourself. In between, how you are living your life, that is more important. In between birth and death, how you are living your life, that is more important, and that is you will feel the success. I feel like um, like your relation, not only money, and not only wealth is definitely you need it, but not focus on money or wealth. um, you need that, no doubt about it. But when you are achieving that, your relation with your friends, your relative, your parents, your children, and all this balance, all this is balance. And when you are balancing this means, I feel like a satisfaction in your life is, and happiness is more important in this journey. Your satisfaction, contentment and happiness is more important. If I will, my lifespan from birth till now, how I was happy, how I was content, that is my success.
Interesting. Thank
Yeah.
you. Wonderful thought process about the idea of success in its totality. Wonderfully said. Thank you, Rashmi. Now here I want to play the devil's advocate with regard to the things that you all have shared. Now you all have mentioned your definition, your feeling, and the idea of what is success to you. Now the question is, and we all do it, me equally. Why I'm asking this question is, when we have a certain definition of what is success to me, how do you, or why do we fall into this trap of what the world thinks, or why do we wait for world's validation to what we think of our success? We are talking of showing our, or earning a certain level of money, or having a certain level of position, or the fame that we get, the likes that you get, as an example, on your posts in your social media channels, the responses that you get in your groups, where I think if you're in your alumni group, when you're interacting or chasing or constantly chatting with someone, the kind of attention that you get. Why is it that it happens that when we are clear with what is success for us, and it is our own internal definition, why is it that we fall prey to what the world thinks or what the world expects as success from you? I've always had this challenge. I'll tell you where, again, I'm not targeting any one individual here or anyone's perspective, because it's all your own. If you are embracing what is for yourself, what your definition is, I think there's no greater power that you can have over yourself than by embracing that. I'll tell you I'll tell my own example. I've had this instance in the past 1-2 years where I've started my journey of on Instagram, where I want to be an influencer. I'm sharing my views, I'm sharing my ideas and creating videos, putting in so much of an effort. And after that, suddenly I start to doubt. My intent is to share the ideas, but when I start looking at what is the response for those videos or response for those ideas which I'm sharing, which is, if they're not getting any response, I start to doubt myself. I start to feel far more inferior than my intent to share the idea. It may work out, may not work out. It may reach 10 people, it may reach 1,000 people. The entire idea is, if I look at it from the intrinsic side of what I am doing and why I'm doing it, I should feel happy. But I start looking at others' judgment, others' validation, and it could be some algorithm. Somebody might be putting in money to build or promote and all those things, but I'm not doing it. Why is it that I fall prey to this idea that, okay, nobody's responding, nobody's liking the content that I'm doing? Have you had an instance where whatever definition you have shared right now, you have questioned your definition of success? And why did you question it?
Again, you just said I'm not satisfied because I thought, oh, there is not enough, because we are social animals actually, and there is a sadness. If I'm also feeling same. If my class is not full, means I feel, oh, why there's few people are today. Why there is 40 people used to have on Zoom, and now it is only 10 or 12. Why this happened? So I'm evaluating myself, why this is happened, and the graph, the happiness graph has come down. so I feel I'm not success that moment. So this is up and down in life, is like this. Always you feel the face the failure, and you feel the success also. But overall draft, when I'm happy all the time, that is my success. So how many times I'm feeling like a low or I'm not successful, that is not success at all. So overall, since I born till now, so many times I feel failure, and I learn from my failure, and I'm making myself be happy. The spiritualities make me feel happy. That is the balance. Spirituality is a balance to keep myself in progress.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So failure is always there. I learn from my failure, definitely.
Interesting. Anyone else would like to share? Dinesha, Ellen, what do you think? Akanksha? Anyone? Dinesha? What makes you diverge or move away from your definition? Because it's your definition and you can see. And even if you're failing, like Rashmi ma'am mentioned, there will be instances where you'll be falling short of what you feel that you want to accomplish. And there'll be times when you'll be falling short of that, or My question here is the external validation or the external metric the world puts on us. We often try to go around that way and make or fall trapped to that idea that this is what success should be. While you can still have the contentment with regard to what you are doing and the process and the effort that you are putting in. Many times the results might not come, but yet if you have put in the effort, you can still feel that for the effort you are successful. Dinesha? Ellen? Anyone?
Sir, I know what myself, but at the same time, we pursue others also, because in life we will be in the middle. We always look for those who are people hub to learn from them, because their perspective may give a wider picture what you learn. In their way, we started learning. For example, I have to create my own branding. I'll give you one recent changes from the last 1 week. I used to wear, there is a set of clothes when I am in my house. One Bermuda, one t-shirt, regular 3 t-shirts, same. Like one after one we remove the next one, we are the same. But I decided there are a lot of clothes, around 60 plus shirts we have. I'm not even using it. People will come to know, Dinesh, please, this t-shirt, this Bermuda. I decided to change myself, the branding. In my house itself, I started wearing formal clothes. That has changed happened during your session, because of your session. Like, who has to create our branding? I have to change how people will look at me. Otherwise, if myself, like, I know everything, this is a success. If you keep mindset close, then I will not learn. This is what I wanted to answer your question.
Interesting. Ellen, go ahead. Ellen?
Yeah, Rashmi.
I'll come back to you. Rashmi, I'll come back to you. Ellen, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, the same thing for me also. Actually, my success should not be measured by others or all world. Actually, what, for example, exams, right? What I studied also, I will not get 100 marks for me, no issues. But what I read, I'll get the satisfaction. Like that, the small satisfaction for me, it give a lot of how that Khalid, he is also informed. Actually, he told us, we'll get the satisfaction only for us. It will not should be measured by others or else movie angle. What we used to think, what is the surroundings? It should be, for example, I need to get up early morning. I'm getting big, right? That is for me success. Again, the small trip I need to go, I'm going. That is my success. Again, that small things should be measured by us. Reason only we know that one what we are doing actually. Others they will think actually if you are overworking, they will tell he is spending time only. He is not with the family. Or again, we know our work. I'm not working daily, 365 days. Only 1 week after Saturday, Sunday, I'm free, they will not see. So like that, they used to tell us they will, they will give pressure, external pressures. So nowadays, I'm not listening anything. But where is the best things are there, we can take. That small things we can take, we can live happily. And instead of copying other things, best thing is there means just to do is what you like and enjoy and do. That only I am doing actually.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ellen. Rashmi, go ahead after that, Akanksha. Quick. Rashmi, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, just now
Dinesha
said, about cloth and all this thing. In my house, always this conflict, with me and my husband. I like every day, even you will say buy one dress, I will buy. And if I will ask him, can I wear this, that, he said, who is looking at you? Wear whatever you want. So I always told him, I'm not looking at others, society or what they said. I feel happy myself.
Wonderful.
And that's why I'm wearing clothes and all. Even I buying him so many shirts and shoes and all, he will wear one shirt and trouser all 8 days. I will snatch that trouser and I will throw in the washing machine. So this is what you feel happy yourself. That is more important. What public and what society is saying, no important for me.
But Rashmi, you are snatching away his clothes after 8 days, right? You should let him be.
Yeah, if I will let him, he will wear 1 month. I'm sure.
Okay, thank you, Rashmi. Akanksha.
So we have too extreme. You know, I don't bother about society, and he also not bother about society. But his style is like this.
Your style of not bothering and his style of not bothering is completely different from what I'm seeing. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Rashmi. We'll go to Akanksha now.
Good evening, everyone. So the why part of why we crave so much of external validation, I think, at least for me and many others, it's because we've been told that this is how it works. We've been wired this way. People will tell you to think about everyone else when it comes to negative situations. I mean, लोग क्या करेंगे, वो क्या सोचेंगे, ये क्या सोचेंगे, तुम ये करेंगी तो. So all this part comes up, and when we start obviously viewing what the society thinks about the negative part, it also applies to the positive part. We start bothering so much about what they will think when something good happens to. They'll tell you to bother only when something bad happens. We start bothering about when the good happens. And so automatically, I think we are wired, most of us at least, are wired to think that external validation is the key to success or something like that.
Interesting. So now here, thank you all for sharing those different perspectives. Here, one thing that I would like to highlight is Ellen mentioning the simple line that they don't know, the others don't know my story more than I do. So when you focus on that aspect, you will see that what you feel successful in. So if I today I say, ask you, let's go for a Jackie Chan movie. All of you will come with me? Might not be, no. Let's go for a cartoon movie. I take my son for a romantic movie. I take my wife for a action movie. Because I love that. Because I feel that that will make us happy. But the underlying idea is when you connect your happiness to what you like or what you define it as, you will find happiness, right? We can't be giving everyone the same vanilla flavor, right? You have to ask. And for you to be happy, you have to ask. I like strawberry. So the focus is who knows you the best and what is the right thing for you. You have to first create your definition of what is success to me and chase that. Like Akanksha mentioned, not everyone, this thing has been wired. So we are not to blame for why it is like that, but we can surely take charge of how we can make it right. Because we come across so many instances where people, when you look at the people from external, you feel they are so wonderful. They have got achievement. They've got success in all the things that we can think of. But within, they are miserable. They're miserable with lakhs of rupees in their bank account. They're miserable with wonderful big houses because the idea of success is not theirs. They could be finding joy in sitting with a kid or teaching a kid or something like that. But it is not that what they're following. You have to take charge of what you are following by a conscious attempt to doing things that you find meaning in. It need not be same. And I'm not saying society, I'm not saying serving or anything. If you find joy in wearing one piece of cloth every day, find it. It's okay. Go do shopping. But don't tell the other person to wear the same cloth every day. Let him make it for 8 days. After that, you can suggest to him, please, not because of the change. I just want to make sure that you are healthy. But the idea is, how are we looking at things that we are doing? When we think the world knows us more than ourselves, we fall prey to the definition that the world is putting on us. So start taking charge of what is it for you and how you feel. So here I would want to leave you all with this basic framework which will help us in making sure that we are following or finding our own definition of success and we are living by that so that we can find joy in our life. I've done this session in the past as well, where I talked about 3 things which will help us in defining what is success for you and making sure you have a template of your way of success, not what the world calls as success. Yes, Khalid, go ahead.
I would like to add a comment.
Sure, go ahead.
That we should think only for ourselves only. I have no right to think on behalf of you.
Correct.
Whenever I'm going to think on behalf of you, it will create mess only. and happiness is gone, there will be no success at all.
Wonderful, wonderful. Indeed, very valid point. I'm not sure if I have the exact wording of that, but I heard this somewhere. The problem is not what you think of me. The problem is not what you think of me. The problem is what I think of what you
are thinking about
me.
it.
And this entire complex of how much importance we are giving to what the other person's opinion is completely ruining our own definition and our own drive, and we are sabotaging our own success. Our own happiness is being killed by us thinking about what the other person is thinking. And the reality is, everybody is thinking this only. Actually, nobody's thinking about you. While you are thinking that they are thinking about you, they are thinking, what are you thinking about them? That's a misery. So let me go to this simple framework. This is a template. So this is not an answer. Please note, again, I'm not here to define success for you. I can only offer you a template through which you can find something which you will have a clarity on how you are pursuing success in life. And the 3 questions which I would want you all to start reflecting and start writing, maybe after the session, sit down with yourself and ask yourself these 3 questions, which will help you in defining and getting clarity on what you want to chase, not what the world wants. The first question is, how would success feel to you? When you said success, when you said this is what I mean by success, ask for yourself, how would success feel to you? So the day, as an example, one day or one project or one thing that you're doing, at the end of it, if suppose you want to feel successful, how would it feel is a question that you need to ask yourself. Do you want to feel gratitude? Do you want to feel pride that you have accomplished something? Not pride in a negative sense, but challenged, and you have accomplished or surpassed what you could do in the past or could do earlier, and you chased that, you learned and mastered that and grew. So what is the feeling that you are chasing? Because each one's drive is different. For me, peace could be a drive today. For someone else, it could be growth, massive transformation. What is it that you're chasing when you're calling successful? And it can be, this definition can keep shifting or moving based on different timelines, different dimensions of your life. In your personal life, it could be different. In your professional life, it could be different. In your personal goals, it could be different. So as an example, if I'm going for a walking today, I'm going for a morning walk or I'm going for a walk, I need not chase the definition that I have to have a 6-pack. I'm chasing the definition. I want to feel healthy. I'm not chasing 6-pack. But if I start to assess or put my definition that I'm not getting a 6-pack, I'm not losing 10 kgs of weight. And if I put that definition onto myself when I'm looking at walking, I'm surely not going to be happier in whatever I'm doing. Even if I'm walking and I'm trying to achieve that. Because that will require a different kind of a stream. And if I chase that stream, the other facets of my life will be disturbed. So the first question is, how or what are you chasing as a feeling when you're calling success in different dimensions? Khalid, you wanted to share something, you unmuted. I thought you wanted to share something.
No, actually, success is a word which keeps on changing itself. It has more definitions than we know. Sometimes I want to drive. For that, I should have a car. And if I'm having that car and I'm able to drive it myself and I have the time freedom, that time I feel I'm successful. I had a car, a limousine, but I have no time to drive it. Success is nothing for me. It keeps on changing.
Indeed. So that's what we're saying when we're talking of today, in whatever facet, in whatever idea, because the very fact that it keeps changing, it's very important for us to actually concretely define at this point in time, in the next 1 month, in this dimension of my life, what is it that I'm chasing? Otherwise, what the biggest misery is that you reach there, and then you think there's something still missing. Then the goalpost has shifted. But if you have a certainty, if you have a clarity when it comes to you having a clear idea, this is what I want to accomplish. If you write it down, if you set it up for yourself, You will at least feel successful when you're reaching that goalpost rather than that goalpost constantly being pushed ahead. So that's the reason why we are saying it could keep changing. The target could keep changing with regard to your feeling. What are you trying to accomplish or what are you trying to chase is the clarity that we need for this point in time. And it could differ. Today, as an example, at 20, when I was 20, my chase was growth. Today, while I'm 36, my chase is quality time with my children. Maybe at 50, my chase might be finding more time for myself. It could be different, but if you have it concretely defined that what are you chasing, the goalpost won't keep changing based on what the world wants it to be. So focus on setting the goalpost of what you're chasing right now. Second question, again, this entire idea of when you become successful, for you to feel successful, how would your ideal day be? When you will become successful, as of today, whatever your definition is, how will your day be when you become successful? Ellen suddenly switched on his video. My day will be, I'm talking here, I'm not going to get any call for 1 hour. That will be a day when I'll feel successful, that I'm not being disturbed by the office people. I'm just guessing, okay? I'm not telling it to be. So, but the idea is, ask yourself, based on today's reality of what yours is, in what all you have progressed and where you have come today, how will your day be? Maybe after 5 years, put a target, 5 years, 1 month, whatever timeline that you want to talk of, how will your day be so that you feel this is how, when I'm successful, I will be sitting in a limousine, as an example. When I'm successful, I will be having this flat, I will be staying in this flat. Note it down. How is your day going to be? Ask yourself that. I told you about the diversion between how Bill Gates' calendar is and how Warren Buffett calendar was. Both of them are successful. Both of them are chasing two different things. That is how they want their day to be. And that's how they've defined it. Yes, Muskan, go ahead.
As I was saying, even whenever I become successful in whatever terms or means, my day should not be negligent about the work, about the social life, about the family, about my own personal time. That should not decrease in any way. The day should be a regular one, just that there should be more comfort in my mind, in my lifestyle. The more comfort should be added, but the day should not decrease its whatever the things I was doing in regular life. That should not decrease because that's what the things were that made me successful. So I shouldn't decrease them a bit. That I shouldn't become a negligent person. Now I have something, I've achieved something, I'll stop doing that or I'll stop doing this. It's like success is a step, it's not destination. It's a growing journey.
Wonderful, wonderful. I like that line. Success is a journey and not a destination. The point that I wanted to highlight here from Muskan's point was, here, when you talk of success, you want to do the same things, but you want to be much more comfortable. So we are talking of upskilling ourselves or the challenges becoming lesser. Because many a times while the race of the success is going on, the challenge is many parts of our life start to fall apart when we're chasing one thing. When we're chasing one thing with a sole focus, many other parts of our life start to get distracted or missed and start to fall apart because we are not focusing on attention. So here my question to you again is, does your success chasing one facet of your life, could be your health, could be your profession, could be your relationships, whatever could be, does chasing only one facet of your life help you in becoming successful? Or will it make your life meaningful when you're chasing only one facet of your life? Rashmi, you're on mute.
Could you please repeat it again with the question?
This is not the third question. I'm just thinking because Muskan just mentioned about this fact that how are we in control of the things that we are doing? Many times we are, while we're chasing success, when we're doing things, we often fall in the race. And without even knowing, there are other facets of our life which start to fall apart because we are in this chase. So isn't success about totality, or is it success about only one dimension of your life? Ellen?
Yeah, actually, for me, what I decided something actually. For example, a morning I'm getting up, doing meditation, going walking, speaking with my wife, having breakfast correct time.
Speaking with your wife.
Means that time spending time actually.
Okay.
Again, speaking to me also. Reason normally speaking is okay. Please bring for breakfast or else coffee or tea or small scolding or something like that. That is not a daily or getting scold or something like that, right? So apart from that, some particular hours daily basis means actually that some balance actually. Starting with me time. So again, office means office. Again, coming back to office. Again, this all mixed actually. It's not actually, yeah, I need to get up actually, or else weight gain or a lot of things will be there. It should be routine life like that. How that cricketer means actually the all-rounder like that. It's not single actually. He is only playing like the batting only. If bowling, who will do? Or something like that. All should be mix and match actually. So at that time, we no need to feel about success. Actually, that balance we have to do. So like that, the entire day, like that, I done on calendar. But nowadays I'm doing actually the meditation means just not actually going much actually to hill sitting like that. Just sitting in a chair, just to close your eyes, just to see your breathing. So that is meditation. So like that, not going much also, that small things. If I can't jog means I can walk. So
Interesting.
like that, the small things. Yeah.
Interesting. Madhu?
Rahul, if my audio is visible, audible clearly.
Audible.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
thank you. So for me, to answer your second question, when what should be my day? If I am successful, I feel like suppose I'm earning some like 40 lakhs or 50 lakhs per annum, and for example, so for example, and I'm taking my family and my kids and my mother, my wife, and everywhere whatever they want, parks, movie, new places, temples, and all. I'll be very happy. But it should be like balanced account balance sheet. Like in accounting we'll say we have a scope for miscellaneous. So suddenly if I want to take a leave, I should be able to take a leave. Instead, no, you're getting 40 lakhs, only 2 leaves you have. No, but whenever I feel like it's urgent, I should be in a position to take a leave or take care other thing. So such a way I feel like it should be a balance sheet in proper way and unexpected thing that. So I feel yeah, that should be there. That's my definition. I feel
Interesting.
emotional.
Interesting, Madhu. It's the end of the financial year and we have got the entire statement ready now with regard to how you should be chasing. You should have the balance. You should have the balance. You should have the miscellaneous space where you have the flexibility of doing it. I think that's a wonderful way to, the correlation is interesting, I would say, because there it's all balanced. And I think the answer also lies in the same pointer that you mentioned. It's the balance that creates the meaning to life. Otherwise, you can't have one side of your life with all the roses and the other side filled with thorns. You have to have a balance, and that is what possibly creates a meaning to it. So when you come or when you think of your definition of success, ask yourself if it is balanced, or are you chasing too much on one side? Because ultimately it's going to backfire on the other side. And are you willing? And I'll tell you one thing, again, it may or may not be, it's an individual's choice if whether you want to have it balanced or not, because there are sometimes that people are willing to pay the cost. When you see people who have achieved massive success, they are also willing to pay the cost of what it takes to be driven on one dimension of your life. Because I'll tell you, there are people who have gone on to peaks with regard to their corporate careers and done and delivered a lot of stuff. The challenge is, as a result of that element, there are things which will take a backwind. I found this interesting study or this case of Narayan Murthy and Sudha Murthy. There's an interesting time where Narayan Murthy was asked if there's one regret that he had, that thing that he could change in his life in the past. He said that he would have wanted to change and focus more on his health. But do you think if he had taken out 1 hour from his time in what he was doing in productive way, in the things that he invested in, would he get the same result of where he is today? I'm not saying it's a right choice or wrong. All I'm saying is that it's a balance it's an individual's call. Sometimes people realize it later. Sometimes people realize it later. But sometimes you need to understand that some pillars or some dimensions could be so hardcore. If you have to take the long run, it could be required that if you're willing to pay the cost for it. Rashmi.
No, you said Narayan Murthy said means health. If you would have give more time to health, he might be more success.
So that's what I'm saying. We are talking of probabilities where in the hindsight, we could have talked of many things, the piece of puzzle, we could have put our life in a different way. All I'm saying is there are times when you will have to make a conscious choice if you're willing to do that. Sudha Murthy alternatively said that because Narayan Murthy was working in a certain fashion where he was working for 18 hours a day and she was willing to support the family. And so she took a step back. She decided to become a homemaker and take care of the kids and their upbringing because Narayan Murthy was rushing and he was in the full speed for his career. And she knew how much passionate Narayan Murthy was for Infosys. I'm just giving an example. I'm not justifying anything. I'm saying it's a choice that you're making. And if you're willing to know that my child's time, the time that I'm able to spend with my child is the cost which you're paying for the pace that you're running it. And if you're willing to accept that, it's a choice that you have when it comes to how you want to lead your life. You could have, I'm not saying how he feels today or something like that. All I'm saying is that there will be certain costs. Are you willing to pay the cost for the things that you're driving for? Being aware that this is my cost is the challenge. A lot of people are not aware of what is the cost they're paying for the chase that they have, for the success that they're chasing. The question is, are you aware and are you consciously willing to pay that price for chasing what you want? Madhu?
Yeah, Rahul, this is just only my opinion. At this age, he's, I think more than 60 or 65 years. And he's, excellent in his career, is a successful person. And he and his partner are very, very known people for a kind-hearted. They are helping a lot. Even though generally when you talk about, one thing you want to change, definitely something is, whatever they're feeling, it would have been better if I spend 1 more hour for health. So I don't know right now, maybe he's successful and he's a kind-hearted and he's earning like some lakhs or crores rupees, but maybe he's not getting 2 hours sleep. I'm guessing, or he has sugar and BP. That is the reason. Might be he's saying if I spend 1 more hour, maybe I would have be like I have money and I have everything. Maybe I would have enjoyed something like that. Maybe just this is my opinion.
Interesting. Very valid perspective. We never know the inside story, let alone the world knowing. Like right now, we are talking about Narayan Murthy, we are talking of him as successful. You never know what is going on within his own world where he's thinking what his life has been. He could be thinking that, see, I'm not able to get 2 hours of sleep like Madhu has mentioned. What is the point of chasing all this? Or he could see because of massive success, there's a cost that I'm paying, but I'm happy that I've built an empire which is running on its own and I've created and served millions of people through the company and what the company has become. So it's an individual's call. All I'm saying is that, are you consciously aware of the cost that you're paying? With that, let me move to the last question that I wanted to share when it comes to defining your success. What are the most important values you want your life to be known for? Everyone has their own drive of what they want to be remembered for. Last week, 2 weeks back, we had this session on what's your DNA. That is what you're projecting. Here we are talking of what is it that you want to choose to be remembered for. What are the values that you want to stand for? And when you talk of, someone at the start talked about 2 different things, thinking one thing and doing one thing. I think it was Dinesha who mentioned about what he thought or what he had as an image and what the way he lived, his tenant who was there. So we are talking of what are the values that you want to stand for and how are you trying to make space for that? You could be wanting to chase philanthropy. That is what might give or might take on successfully. While someone could be, I want to create massive value, create an empire, and I want to earn hundreds and thousands of dollars or whatever. I want to earn massive money to serve people. Well, my choice could be, I don't want to earn massive amount of people. I just want to serve people. Their choices, their paths, their own definitions of how they're going to do. But unless you have a clarity for what value that you want to stand for, you will fall prey to anything which the world will tell you. The world could tell you money is important and you will put your integrity at stake, thinking that money is more important. But if you have your values clear, you will have your integrity safe, and you'll see that money can come later. Your choices will be clear, and that will create your path for success based on what you feel. I've come across this interesting stories in Bollywood where you talk of a lot of people wanting success, wanting that fame, wanting that break. And they've done things which they would have otherwise not, which is against what they believe in. Because they want fame, they want that luck, they want that opportunity which is to be got. And on the contrary, there are other people also who have said that I'm okay if I don't get that fame, but I'll stick to the values that I have. I'll keep my integrity, my image very important, and what I feel. So at the end of it, there will be someone who will be very successful, but within they might be shallow. They'll not be experiencing that success because they have fallen trap and they've killed themselves. While the world calls them successful, they've killed themselves. While someone else who's from the world's perception, not at all successful, not famous, not earned anything, and yet they're happy with their life. They're happy with the attempt of what they have done for their life, and they're okay with it. Who will be more happier? Who will be at more peace? The ones who have followed their way of what success is for them is where the entire differentiator will be. So find the values that you stand for and see how you're building them over a period of time, rather than what the world expects out of you or how the world is trying to play the games with you in the name that this is what the world expects to be successful. Clear, everyone? So with that, any thoughts that each one of you would like to share before we close the session for today? Khalid, Muskan? बहुत सोच में पड़ गई है, बहुत डीप सोच में पड़ गई है. Madhu, go ahead.
No, I was
Madhu, go
Yes,
ahead.
yeah. So there is one, just this only example. There is one a big successful chocolate companies, and they are paying. I mean, they are charging for one chocolate maybe 50 rupees, and other people are charging for 60 rupees or 70 rupees, and he is charging only 50 rupees, and he has a very great business, and in entire world he's the number one. But after 2 or 3 years, he's the number one in the market and earning crores of rupees. And suddenly that we came to know that whatever he's using for the chocolate is not healthy for kids or maybe cancer. No, something is there. And the bad factor is he knows that, but still for the profit purpose he's doing that. So yeah, for in this case, I feel like if I'm in that situation, it's completely I failed in my happiness or whatever I'm doing. So ethics should be there. As earlier also I discussed, it should be if you're possible, try to help others, but otherwise keep quiet, but don't harm others, with knowing or without knowing. So I feel that way.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Yes, Muskan. You're on mute. Okay, I thought you raised your hand.
yeah, I raised it.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I just want to, I was just like concluding all the things, and I just remembered some thing I read time back. Like even if you are successful at no end, like lot whatever successful you are, we shouldn't forget our roots. And with success, we should get more values in life, like humbleness, genuinity, and many more other values. We should like just grow with the success as a human being and as an individual. That's the real success in the end.
Wonderful. I think both Muskan and Madhu highlight the same idea, that it's all about how you are comfortable with yourself and how peaceful you are with the values that you stand from, the roots that you're coming from, is something that you should be able to stick to and look up to when you are trying to progress in your life. Who's coming up next? Ellen, Dinesha? Sri Krishna, if you're here and you want to, Rashmi, go ahead.
No, again, our happiness should not depend on others. So sometime I went to party and my principle, I'm not eating means non-veg, and I'm not drinking alcohol or anything. And all my friends from India, they are they wasn't drinking, but they are drinking now. And they said, "Are ye kya Rashmi?" I said. So I said, "I'm without drinking, I'm happy." तो आपको जो प्लेजर मिल रहा है वो मुझे बिना पी के ही मिल रहा है. So what I'm trying to say, you should not please others. What you feel happy, you can focus on that only.
Wonderful, wonderful. I actually, when you said that, Rashmi, I'm myself, I'm a teetotaler. Yet till date, I've been in circles. I've been in circles where people drink, and I'm okay. When people again ask me the same thing, I say, जिंदगी में बहुत नशा है, बस है. मेरे लिए वो बस है.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Rashmi, for that. Yes, anyone else would like to share before we close for today? That's it. Thank you, Uma ma'am. Thank you for staying back despite the internet and bandwidth challenges, and thank you for sharing that. It was success today. Wonderful. Akanksha? Okay. Khalid, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yep. Any closing thoughts? Anything that you
go positively and keep marching.
Wonderful. Thank you, Khalid. I hope you enjoyed the session today with different perspectives that we had, all the members sharing.
Actually, I joined after a very long time.
Yeah, I know. It's been very long time, and we have shifted from the model that we had earlier to this membership model, and we are having all the last Friday of every month as the open mic, so that we can continue to connect with those people who were there in the past, and that's how we have been doing it. So with that, it's the end for today's session, and like we always say, tomorrow is a weekend, and thank God today is Friday, and with this session, it indeed becomes a pleasurable experience for us to get into a weekend thinking about all the things that we learned today. And I hope each one of you all had a fun time and experience of learning and listening to different perspectives, and leave this place tonight with a clarity on what is success for you, and finding a space where you can feel successful more than just being called successful by the world. Thank you. Signing off for tonight. See you all next month with a different theme and different